Good afternoon to everyone and a warm welcome to Adelaide, the Lord Mayor and special guests. As Diane said, my name is Lino Strangis and I am the Executive Director of International Engagement, Trade, Immigration and International Education. So this falls within my remit responsibility. I am Italian by family background. Both of my parents arrived here in Melbourne in the late 50s. And they met in Melbourne where I was subsequently born. So I'm also an Italian citizen as well as being Australian, and I'm from Melbourne originally. Immigration SA is a state government agency, part of the newly formed Department for Trade, Tourism and Investment, and is responsible for skilled and business migration to South Australia. We work with the Australian Government Department of Home Affairs to attract eligible, skilled and business migrants through state-nominated visa programs. The nomination of skilled migrants is important for our state to meet skills shortages. It's a very important policy issue for our state. We don't quite have the critical mass of the economy of some of the larger states on the East Coast. So skill shortage is something we manage very, very carefully. And also the labour market. And this is significant to both metropolitan Adelaide and regional areas of South Australia. In order to create a strong future for South Australia, we need a young and vibrant population that looks a lot like the people in this room. We value the experience, the skills, the talents and the ideas that you bring with you here today. We are proud of South Australia's multicultural heritage and the economic, social and cultural contributions that migrants make to our community. And we are proud of Adelaide continually ranking as the world's 5th most livable city, and the Lord Mayor will have more to say on that a bit later. This is the home of 5 Nobel laureates. With a population of only 1.7 million people for the state, that is quite an accomplishment. Wi-Fi was invented here. We lead the world in renewable energy. Our medical research and hospital is the best available anywhere in the planet. Property prices are affordable. There is access to beaches and mountains, seafood, wineries, some of the world's best produce, lovely food. The ideal place to raise a family and start a business and contribute. My 7-year-old daughter asked if she could be with me here today to help. She couldn't make it as she has a ballet competition today. She wanted to come because she knew I was welcoming new arrivals. As a former Consul General and serving Australian diplomat on postings across the Middle East, conferring citizenship was one of the most rewarding aspects of my work. I always brought my family to the ceremonies so they could show the friendly face of Australia, as opposed to my face. It was also an important opportunity for them to understand the emotions of people leaving one country, their families, their friends, their culture, to go and live in another. It's important for them to acknowledge that as well. I recently arrived here with my family from Tehran at the end of a posting less than 12 months ago. Though I'm not a migrant, I felt blessed to be able to take up a position here in Adelaide. I'm the envy of my friends and I have a lot of them in Melbourne and Sydney and Canberra. They're very envious of me and the lifestyle I have. And when I summarise it, it comes down to 22, 22 and 22. I live 22 kilometres from the city on 22 acres of land, and it takes me 22 minutes to arrive at the office. So think about that, and if you can find that combination anywhere else on the planet, I will challenge you. It is all about nation building and contributing to Australia's history. This is what we're doing today. There's nothing new about what is happening here, apart from the 60,000 or 65,000 years of custodianship of this country by our sublime Indigenous Australians. Modern Australia is a story of migration and a nation built by people who have come from somewhere else. All of us. A particularly epic group of immigrants to South Australia that I always reflect upon are the Afghans that arrived in Adelaide at the end of the 19th century. As masters of desert environments and expert camel handlers, they forged routes into the outback regions of Australia north of Adelaide, providing the only means of transport before the advent of the motor car and railways in Australia. Their skills have contributed to Australia's prosperity, having provided a lifeline to communities across one of the most difficult environments on the planet. It's very lovely here in Adelaide. About 4 hours north, things really start to change and it becomes very arid and stark. And these Afghans provided a lifeline, as I said. These people were real heroes and a part of Australia's collective folklore. They're part of our history. Migrating to a new country can be daunting. I really do encourage you all to make use of the support services offered by the Immigration SA team, my team, which we will hear more about from today. Those services that we extend to you as visitors and new arrivals is really, I think, one of the, adds a great lustre to my agency. And it's a responsibility incumbent upon us to look after you and make sure that your commencement on this journey and its way forward is something that's very, very positive. We want you to contribute, but we also want to help you as well. So it's not just a conversation today, it's a sustained conversation as you go forward. We want to stay close to you. So now, without any further delay, I would like to introduce the Lord Mayor for Adelaide, the Honourable Martin Hayseed. Thank you.